So we're here with Moises, aka Moi, the one and only. All right, go ahead and introduce to yourself. No, that fucked up.
Start from there.
All right,
You gotta start from there and then you cut it.
Yeah, I cut it. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the millions of people watching.
My name is Moises. I'm the equipment manager for Seattle Sounders. I've worked with them now for 3 seasons, but before that, I was the head equipment manager with Detroit City Football Club, moving from lower league football to MLS, and getting to work with first division players, getting to travel all around the world, getting to go to the Club World Cup, Champions League, everything with the Sounders.
Awesome. And as you can see, Moi is an enthusiast of the football, aka soccer world. So today we're going to be asking him a couple questions about his journey to where he's at right now, where he wants to go, and also ask him some questions and thoughts about the football world and what that looks like. Let's get started. The first question I'd like you to kind of answer is maybe give us a little bit of context of where you're originally from, where your family's from, and we'll start there.
My whole family my family's from Jalisco, but they moved to Detroit years and years ago, and that's where I was born and raised. And growing up, playing soccer, played in high school, college, and in college, I heard that there was tryouts for a team in Detroit, and it was like lower division. I think it was like 4th at the time. I decided to try out. It was a rough tryout. The tryouts at that point, it's a low league team, so like they didn't have a lot of money. Their tryouts started at midnight.
Midnight?
And ended at 2:30 in the morning.
And you did that?
I went to their tryouts. They had like this indoor facility. Well, they were renting out this indoor facility, and I show up and I'm like, I'm tired. And I got there a little late. Can make any excuse I want. Like, it doesn't matter. I was not going to make that team. At the end of the tryouts, I knew I could make it. But I saw their GM, and I went up to him and I was like, hey, I want to be part of this club anyway. And he's like, well, we're going to need interns this year. This is the first year we have interns. So, like, send me your number, your email, and then I'll bring you in for an interview. And I was like, all right, sounds good. So I did an interview with him, and afterwards, like, came on as like their operations guy. And at that point, like, one of their owners of the club was like the equipment guy. Okay. And I saw what he was doing, and I was like, hey, I'll help you out. Like, I'll go to training, I'll fill up the water, I'll do this, I'll do that. So did that. On game days, I would set up the locker room, and after the season, I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. The owner calls me back the next season. He's like, hey, would you like to come back as a part-time worker and be like the equipment person? And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. Came on.
Paid, of course.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, at that time, like, it was like very low pay.
Yeah, because you were just starting off and you were trying to get in,
I was
your foot in the door.
Still a full-time student, going to work as well, like having a part-time job. And I think I had a full-time job. Yeah. And
so walk me through a little bit of like what your day-to-day schedule looked like when you started off.
With them?
Yeah.
With Detroit, let's see. I mean, I would go to school in the morning.
Okay, what time?
Anywhere from 8 to like 3-ish.
Okay.
I had classes, and their training was in the evening, so like 4:30 or 5 they would start. Okay. So by that time I was done. Yeah. And we would only train 3 times a week. Okay. At that time, so like 3 days out of the 5 days I would go out, train with them, whatever. And then they would play on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if it was home, I'd work with them. If it was away, I wouldn't travel. Yeah. Like, it wasn't in their budget to have an extra person travel. Of course. It was pretty expensive. And so I was there with them for like 2 hours max every day, and it was pretty cool. Got to learn a little bit hands-on, like on my own, like, all right, this is what I got to do. This is how the locker room is set up. And as I continued to learn, there was a couple players on the team that were kind of like, oh, have you seen this team? Like, this is how the equipment manager does it. So I started watching videos, and kind of like, that's how I learned. Like, I was learning this is how the ins and outs. Yeah. Okay. And then, like, you start learning what every player likes. Like, there was one guy who wore a medium shirt, but he liked extra long or extra large shorts, and then cut socks.
Huh.
Yeah, so he was like,
everybody's a little unique on what they
everybody's
prefer.
different, so you like start learning what everybody wants, and that's how I got used to it. And then in 2019, the team became professional in 3rd division.
Wow.
And they
because
brought
of
me
you.
on. Yeah. So they brought me on full time.
Okay,
So
okay.
At that point, I had already graduated. I was working in a school, and I like left that job behind to like work full time.
What was the decision like, as far as like, you know, you graduated school, you got into the job field, and then you were still doing this on the side, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? What was that kind of decision process like? Because I know it's not
It's
not
hard.
an easy one to take, because obviously it's like you have a job that's paying the bills, you know, you got to do that, and then you have a risk that you can take, like to follow what you actually want to do, but it doesn't pay.
It doesn't pay. Yeah. So for me, it was tough because I was like, I just graduated. This is what I wanted to do. I got a job lined up.
Yeah.
It was like perfect.
What was that job?
It was working in the high school that I graduated from.
Oh, okay.
So it was like perfect. Like I was working part-time at that school, or like substitute teaching, like just like every day. And I had something lined up, and then the soccer team was like, do you want to come full-time? And I was like, they told me how much I was going to get paid, and I was like, that is nothing.
If you don't mind sharing, what was that?
My first year?
Yeah.
For the whole year, I think we started training in like early March or late February, I don't know, going on to like late October. It was 5,000.
5,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, they told me, and I was like, I don't know.
And what did your parents think about that?
I didn't tell them how much I was going to get paid.
Okay. Why didn't you tell them?
Because they would say no. They would have been like, no, absolutely not, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was still living with them, so I was like, all right. So what I did was, I was like, I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna have to suffer my first year, maybe my second year, maybe my 3rd year.
Yeah.
But at some point, I know I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
I just have to get my foot through the door, and then like start reaching out. And that's what I did. Like after that, I got on Instagram, and I started reaching out to every equipment manager, and kind of like not only getting to know them, but getting to know how they do things.
Yeah.
And getting to know how they
like mentorship.
How they work. And I got to go in 2019. I got to go and shadow the equipment manager for Chicago Fire.
Nice.
He was amazing. He like showed me a couple things,
Right.
and I like came back to Detroit, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna change it.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm gonna do, because they do it like that. I learned a lot from him, and then I reached out to the equipment manager from Minnesota. They were amazing, and I think during the off season I was going to go and work with them. But then in 2020, everything shuts down.
COVID.
Yeah. Couldn't get anything. Couldn't reach out to anybody. Everybody's doing their own little bubble. 2021, I get a call from the Seattle Sounders asking if I wanted to work with them.
And you submitted an application. How was that process like?
I came to visit someone in Seattle.
Okay.
And while I was here, I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out.
Yeah.
See if I can shadow them.
Okay.
And I reached out, but that was in 2020. So they were like, sorry, because of COVID, you can't come in. And I was like, understand.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All good.
But you shooters got to shoot.
Yeah.
Shooters got to shoot. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
I put my name on there. And in 2021, without like knowing anything, they just called me. They're like, yes or no? And I was like, yes.
Dang.
So like 2 weeks later, I packed up my car, moved all the way over here, and it was kind of hard to like adjust at first.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole new
city.
It's a whole new city.
No new state.
Whole new system of everything, like of work. And I'm no longer the head guy.
Yeah.
Now I'm like the number 3, number 4 with the Sounders, and I'm like, all right, this is how you guys do it. Like, it makes sense.
Adapt. Yeah.
It makes sense how you guys do it, and I know why you guys do it like that. But I gotta learn, because in Detroit I was doing this because we couldn't afford this. So it was hard, but like after my first year, I was like, all right, I got it.
Yeah. And of course, like, I just want to go back a little bit into what you were talking about of like, hey, you picked up your things, you moved.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not here with your parents, right?
Yeah.
And so
that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. You left parents, friends, family, everything. All for what? To pursue the what? The beautiful game.
To pursue the dream. Like, since I was little, I knew that I wanted to be around soccer. I mean, growing up, everybody's always like, I want to be a professional athlete. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever sport you're in, you always want to be, I want to be the star.
Yeah.
But after a while, you get to a point where you're like, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I was in high school. I was like, I'm not making it.
Yeah. No,
somehow
for sure.
I played in college. I mean, it was club level. It wasn't even like varsity. So like, I still had to pay for a lot of the stuff. But even in college, I was like, I'm never going to make it. Even when I went to the tryout, I knew it. I was like, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
But if I could still be in it and still enjoy it, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like 2 hours of my day is spent outside on a field kicking a ball around, it's perfect. And I get to watch like other guys like play and stuff.
You get to watch players like
Raúl, Chicharito, like getting to meet them, and it's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now this is for all the people that have a similar dream, a similar interest, right? That they want to do this, but they're afraid to take that risk, or maybe they just don't know like that it's even an option or things like that. Walk us through what your thought process was your first year here, not just within like your job, but adjusting to that new city. Like, what was that like? What was going through your mind? Like, you got off of work, maybe you don't know anybody here, I'm assuming, right? Like,
no, I didn't know anyone. No. I think every dream will always come with like something to be scared of. Like nothing is ever like simple. It's never like an easy call. I mean, getting the call from the Sounders and for me saying yes was like, it wasn't even the easiest because like having to like at first I was like, I want it.
Yeah.
And then once they were like, all right, you got it, I like looked at my parents and I had to like tell them like, oh, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's hard. And it's hard because like,
on one hand,
it's hard because you're away from everyone, and that's going to be the sacrifices. Like you have to make so many sacrifices to get to where you're at, because in order to succeed and do what you want, you're going to have to go through all that like that pain. And like when I told my parents, they're like, my mom was like, she was sad, but she was like, well, you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, oh, I'm happy for you. Like you're going to be able to like, you're going to do this. And he knew so much about the Sounders. It like surprised me. He's like, oh, the assistant coach is so-and-so. You got this player and this player. And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, And I got here and I was like,
dang, he's right.
I got here knowing nothing about the Sounders, which was like bad on my part because like I didn't watch MLS growing up. I didn't do that. And I get here and I was like, oh, I know who this guy is. Yeah, I've heard of this guy. Like, Raúl played in Mexico. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Damn, that's crazy to me, honestly. And like, now obviously, like now looking back, like what have your parents said? What have your family said to you now? Like, because they've come to visit and watch games, right? Like, what are their thoughts now? Like, seeing the other side.
They're happy. I mean, for Champions League, I had my parents in the stadium, and after we won, I brought them down to the field. My dad got to meet a bunch of the players, and they're very proud. They were very proud, and I remember like the day after the game, I remember I was talking to them, and I was like, remember when you told me not to leave teaching for soccer? And they're like, yeah, we just didn't think that you'd be here. And I was like, yeah. Damn. You didn't think that you'd be walking on a professional field. Like, they got to lift the Champions League trophy before I did.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Like, so after the team took the photo and like my parents got onto the field and after that, like I'm introducing them to a bunch of people, and then my boss called me over and I like was talking to him. Okay. And afterwards, I like got my parents again, and my mom was like, "Oh, we just took a picture with the trophy." And I was like, "Yo, I haven't even seen the trophy yet. Like, I haven't even lifted it." My dad was like, "Oh yeah, it's really heavy." And I was like, I was a little jealous at first. I was like, "What the heck?" Yeah.
Okay. And obviously now, like, you're in your zone. You're comfortable. You're getting promotions. Maybe we'll see him get promoted here in a couple months. We'll see what that looks like.
There's one coming up soon.
So this is coming up. He's on the come up.
It's coming up.
There's only one. It's
a promotion, but a lot of people don't see it as a promotion. The way our ladder works in equipment is like we got the head equipment manager and then the first team manager, and then after that it's the second team manager, and then the assistant equipment manager for the first team. So that's my position, and the equipment manager for the second team is leaving. So like, even though I'm gonna work with the second team now, it's still a promotion because I'm moving up.
Yeah, because you're in charge of the whole operation.
Yeah. Now I'm in charge of not only the second team, but I'm also overlooking the academy.
Really?
Which is huge.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like in charge of two things. So like, it's a big promotion, big pay raise, but like, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I think I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Like I used to do it in Detroit, so like, why not do it here?
Yeah, and that experience is gonna serve you well because you've done it and you know the connections, you know the people. And speaking of connections, I mean, look at these connections that you've made. I think it's not everyone that has, and this is just a couple of the jerseys that he has signed.
Yeah.
So talk to us about a little bit about how you got these and like what was the story behind.
Well,
these?
it's easy to get like Sounders
That's your
jersey
home.
signed. Yeah. Raúl was very inviting and very welcoming from the moment I got here. He introduced himself and just kind of like, like asked questions about me. And the moment that I spoke Spanish to him, he was like, "Perfect.
Yeah.
You're gonna help me a lot." Like, he's a really good guy. Really very humble. He's had me over to his place for like dinner as a thank you.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. Chicharito, man.
That's crazy.
A legend. He's played in all of my favorite teams, and like seeing him start from Chivas and go to Man U and Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's for me it was crazy. And last year we were doing preseason in California, and they were doing preseason with us as well. And my room happened to be across the hall from his room.
Oh my god.
So
crazy to me.
I opened up my door one day and he was like standing there, and I was like,
hey, you're all drooling. Just kidding.
Honestly, I was like, whoa. And I was like, I'm trying to relax. Like, I work with professionals, so like whatever. I like introduced myself to him, and he was pretty cool. He was a cool guy. I said hi, and then every time he saw me, we like talked a little bit. And last year when they came to play us,
he remembered you.
I asked him for his jersey, and he was like, yeah, just ask the equipment guy. Like, he'll give it to you after. And he like signed it and everything for me, and
that's so cool.
I was like, wow. Like, I think for equipment managers, like a lot of people have their own collection of things. Like for me, it's jerseys. So like, I don't know how many jerseys here, but even in Detroit, I have so many jerseys, and like, it's gotten to the point where like I have a big name jersey. Yeah. But if it's not signed, like it just doesn't mean it. Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and now talk to us a little bit about these 90s right here. How'd you get them? How'd you cop them? Because these are kind of rare, low-key.
These are the actual ones. They're not like replicas. These are from, whatever, like 2002.
Yeah. I think Ronaldo was wearing these a lot in his games, no?
I think Ronaldo was more of a mercurial guy, but we did have Wayne Rooney, Fernando Torres, big names. So yeah, before I moved here to Seattle, I had a friend who gave them to me, and they were like super dirty, all muddy. They played one game in them, and they're like, I broke my leg in them. I'm gonna toss them.
Yeah.
And I was like, toss them. I was like, do you know how much they're worth? And he's like, yeah. So
you want
cleaned them up, and I got them, and I was like,
that's cool.
In my first apartment here, they were like the centerpiece on my living room table. And I like to collect boots as well. Like, I just have a bunch of them. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now let's switch over to some rapid fire questions.
All right. Let's see how I do.
Yeah, quick. These are not going to be like trivia. This is just more of your opinions.
Okay. Just hit me with it. I know the first question already.
No. I'm going to wait on that one. I'm going to wait on that one.
I know the first question. It's everybody's favorite question.
All right, I guess we'll hit you with it. All right, Messi, right here, or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
You got the Ronaldo right here.
Ronaldo.
Oh, Ronaldo. Sí.
Ronaldo all day.
All right, and why Ronaldo?
I liked how he played. I liked how he was. Again, he's played in some of my favorite teams, Man U and Real Madrid, and he was always a leader.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was always hated for no
Yeah.
reason.
Okay.
And like no matter what he did, it was always bad. And I think like growing up, like I also like my whole family's a Barca fan. I'm the only Real Madrid fan, and it was kind of like just to be against them. I was like, I'm a Ronaldo fan. And, yeah.
Okay. And but do you think you like Ronaldo more, but
Yes.
is he better than Messi? That's my question. Is he better than Messi, or is Messi better than Ronaldo?
It's hard because like each one has their own thing that they're good at.
But overall, I'm asking you overall, and I think you know the answer to the question, but because I agree with you.
Ronaldo.
You think it's Ronaldo?
I think it's
I'm gonna
Ronaldo.
have to disagree on you with that one. Like, I totally.
I'll ask you this one.
Okay. Ask you this one.
There's a lot of controversy on this one. Did Messi deserve this last Ballon d'Or?
Honestly, I think that one's a 50-50. Like,
50-50.
I think it's a 50-50. Because, I mean, the World Cup, it's like...
It's huge.
It's huge. It's the
huge.
number one trophy. Like, it's every player's dream to win the trophy.
How many goals did he score?
I think he scored 7, right?
How many were not penalties?
Ooh, I think 4 of them were penalties, right?
I think 4 or 5 were penalties.
No, it was 4. I think it was 4.
Okay.
Okay, but granted,
Still,
there were
penalties.
penalties.
But if Ronaldo scores a penalty,
Penaldo.
If Messi scores a penalty,
Look.
Messi.
I'm not hating Ronaldo. I'm just saying that Ronaldo is like the second best player in the world. He's my favorite player, but he's the second best player in the world simply because of that World Cup. Simply because of that World Cup. Like, aside from that, like, I think it would have been a good argument. Like, okay, Messi, Ronaldo. Like, it's a good argument because they've been going back and forth for a decade.
For this Ballon d'Or, Ronaldo should not even be in the top 20.
Okay, yeah.
For this one, I think the winners of the Ballon d'Or could have easily been.
I think Haaland.
Haaland.
I would have voted for Haaland.
Or Mbappe.
Maybe not Mbappe, but Haaland for sure. I put Haaland over Mbappe.
Yeah. And everybody says Messi won the World Cup, and it's like no.
Argentina
won the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not take any credit away from all the other players.
That's true.
Because
That's true.
Everybody's like, oh, but Argentina wasn't even a good team. It's like, no, come on.
Yeah, they're a pretty solid
Look at
team.
the players that they had.
Yeah.
Dimaria.
Go. He's good.
He is underrated.
Super.
So much.
He's pretty much won a lot. Like, right.
Dimaria, I think, did more than Messi in the World Cup.
In the final or in the whole?
In the whole thing.
Really? I haven't looked at his statistics or what his contribution. But we'll have to look into that.
On the ball, off the ball.
Okay.
Dimaria.
All right then. Well, getting back to this, who's your tridente at the top?
3 up top.
Yeah.
You have to have Santi Jimenez.
Santi Jimenez, of course. Okay.
Santi.
Put him up top. We got Santi.
Shoot.
We got Lozano. We got
Chucky. Yeah.
Chucky Lozano.
I can put him up there.
Left, right.
Shoot. What side does he usually go on?
He usually plays left or right.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays left.
He switches a lot, but I would put him,
The left side?
Yeah.
Left side. And then,
if you would have asked me this question a couple years ago, I would have said Raúl Jimenez. For sure.
Yeah.
But after his injury, he's gone down.
Yeah, for sure. He hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
I think you can still tell that he has like the technique and things
Yeah.
But I think that just like the clinical finish is that it's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Okay, next question. Jimmy Lozano. First word that comes to mind.
Oh, for some reason I wanted to say old, but not like calling him old.
Okay.
Like old school. Like he played a while back.
Oh, I see what you mean
like
from
that.
a player. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that. I like when the national team has a coach who's played with the team. You know the team, who's also from the same country.
Right. I think that makes sense.
Because going to the World Cup with Tata Martinez,
oh my God! Don't even get me started on Tata Martinez.
He put the worst lineup against Argentina. And it's like, well, he's an Argentinian player.
Yeah.
He's an Argentinian coach. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I think you could see it in his eyes when they scored. He was low-key kind of happy. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I saw. All right. This is a given. Favorite MLS team?
Sounders.
Okay. You could have gotten fired for that one. Just kidding.
My first year, the assistant coach, no, not the assistant coach, the goalie coach asked me, he's like, what's your favorite team? And I said Chivas. And he goes, that was a trick question. You were supposed to say Sounders. And I was like,
ooh.
ooh, you got me there. But I was like, no. My whole family's from Guadalajara, so I'm good. And he said, all right, I respect that.
Respect. Okay. Favorite Liga MX team?
Liga MX? Chivas.
Okay, you just answered that one. Favorite team that plays in Europe?
In Europe, Real Madrid.
Okay. Who's going to be the Champions League winner this year?
Ooh, that's tough.
You got a lot of good people.
Yeah.
5 good teams. Real Madrid, Man City.
I don't think Real Madrid will win it this year.
Okay.
Because they have so many injuries right now.
That's true.
Unless they're able to pull it off, get all their players back, and then be good. But that's tough. Man City, Bayern is doing really good.
Okay. So you got Man City or Bayern?
Man City, Bayern. I don't think Liverpool will do it.
So those are your 2 picks.
I think my 2 picks, and if you got to throw another team up there, I'll say Real Madrid. Real Madrid over Barcelona any day.
Okay. Honestly, but you never know with Real Madrid because you remember the last World Cup?
Yeah.
They came out of nowhere. So, okay. Those are all the questions we had today. Appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your story, and hopefully this inspires someone to take that risk for their dream job, even if it's not within soccer. I think
you gotta start small.
Yeah.
You gotta start small. You can't expect to be with one of the top teams right away. You have to kind of work your way to it, and you have to build your knowledge to it as well. Yeah. You
gotta put in the work.
It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That is true.
Shout out Kim K. All right. All right. Well, thanks again for taking the time, Mr. Orozco. And catch you all on the next episode.
Watch it now record.
Oh my God. It stopped recording a while.